Hello. Okay. Thanks everybody for being here. Really exciting to have my first event at Goto TE or Goto 10. Um, so tonight we'll speak about basically growing a startup early stage. So I don't know if any one of you are entrepreneurs here or having a startup. Yeah, a lot of you. Yeah, I know some of you from different places. Um, so basically, like the setup, this is not an after work, even though like they stayed open a little bit. So if you want something to drink, take it now before they go. But that's not the main point today. So there is no free drinks or anything. It's really like a place where I want to share experiences with you. Hopefully, I have a lot of questions. So feel free to interrupt me during the talk, because that's the main goal tonight, really to have a discussion more than me talking and being boring. And it's not a sales pitch. I have nothing to sell you. I'm a consultant, so I have my clients already, and I'm not gonna email you after or just maybe send you basically the keynote and the live stream link if you want to see it again. And hopefully it will be interesting. So about me, yeah, it's a French accent if you didn't know me from before. I was born and raised in France, moved to Sweden 7-8 years ago. I have my family here. And prior to being a consultant, I was working, first I was working at an agency with some of the guys here. That's where I learned really like the basics of digital marketing. I worked there for 3 years. And after that, I moved on to Izettle when we were, some of Gustav is here, for example. Where back then we were 30 people. I think we joined the same time. And I guess some of you know about Izettle. It was an incredible journey. There are now like 500 or 600. So I learned a lot there. And I was responsible of all organic acquisition there, so for all markets. During 2016, I joined a team at M. So we have some of you here as well. I don't know if you know M.com. It's a design furniture company working mainly towards the US. So you should check it out if you bought a new apartment or anything. That's great stuff. No, not directly for me. I might sell some drinks also. No, no, I'm kidding. Yeah, so, and if you want to know more about me, that's my website, just with contact details. Add me on LinkedIn, that's where I'm the most active. But also I have an Instagram account where I give some tips, so you can just follow me there. So who has an early stage startup here, like really like is in the, yeah, cool. Great, and who had been entrepreneur before and like maybe failed? I mean, it's no shame. Yeah, okay, yeah. No, it's great. I mean, you learn a lot, I guess, from that experience, and you're probably gonna be entrepreneur again at some point. So I just want to see, like, to start with, what I think is when you are like really like on, you know, like people really work their ass off. For example, I know like you work a lot on the product side to get your MVP out, and you're so happy when it's launch day or when it's gonna be launch day. And then this happens. You will probably share it on Facebook and maybe with your friends, and wait for something to happen in Google Analytics or somewhere, and then like nothing is coming. Waiting for shit. So basically, like, there's a lot of people that just they believe so much in their product and they are passionate about what they built that they think that just it will create a buzz by itself and like being successful. This is not the case. And then they realize, okay, but how do we find users or how do we find customers? So they go straight to advertising, and they think that will solve all problems. And that's what I want to talk about tonight, because this is not always the case. And you probably like know about it. So I want to start the talk with like a concept I really like. It's from Seth Godin. I don't know if any of you know Seth Godin. And this is the concept of MVA. So since you guys work with startups, you know about the concept of MVP, minimal viable product. But really little people I meet work on their MVA, so their minimal viable audience. How many of you knew about this? Yeah, a few one, but the majority didn't know. So I really recommend you to check this blog post out from Seth Godin, because I think like the natural way to approach a launch or a new product or a new company is trying to reach as many people as possible in the beginning. And many people like do this mistake, and it means that you need money and you need a lot of time. However, like if you start really small, like start the smallest possible. Start with your neighborhood, start with your city, start with your country, and like make it really good. Make it like find your user base that will define your company, and build a relationship that will last forever. And that's basically like that's the concept that you can apply to a lot of things. But for startups, that's what's really it's a proven tactic basically. Like you should really care of your MVA, and that's what I will talk about tonight. So like, how do you find your MVA? So maybe some of you are familiar with this screenshot. It's the backend platform for Facebook ads. So I know I don't want to talk about advertising today, and I won't. But something that you can do when you launch a startup and you want to know about your audience is to really spend time there. So go to facebook.com/ads/audience insights. And basically this is the backend for Facebook ads. So having data is really expensive. So as a startup, early stage startup, you won't have the money to do an expensive report or to really do a survey to millions of people. But you can go there. You can go there and basically ask Facebook if you know one thing about your audience. In that case, for example, let's say I'm launching a brand that is similar to Acne. I'm launching a fashion brand and similar price, and I want to see a little bit what could be my partners, what kind of PR should I do? Basically, like knowing as much as possible about my potential audience and knowing where they are and what they do online. So basically, Facebook provides you like you can put like, for example, here it's Sweden. Let's say I will start in Sweden, and you need to find a brand that's become big enough to become an interest for Facebook. So if you can be it can be a competitor, it can be a brand that is in the same universe than your brand. Basically, like put it here in additional entries or interest, and this will pop up. So you will have the first tab, you will have the demographics, and you will know like how old is the audience. So in that case, it's probably a lot of millennials. But I would like you to focus on the page likes, and so basically the top categories. So in the example of Acne, here like you could see like, okay, Trädgården. So the people like that are more likely to wear Acne, they probably go out at Trädgården. So that could be a really good partner, or that could be a really good place to start promoting your product. They go to Fashion Week Stockholm. So, okay, maybe you should plan something in relation to the event and of the Fashion Week. They like similar brands like Rodmeyer, House of Dagmar, Wired. They follow Grandpa. Okay, maybe a retail opportunity for your brand. And they read metromod.se. Okay, maybe you should find a PR alternative or PR push towards Metromod because the audience is there. So I really recommend you to spend time there. It's basically reverse engineer. You're not going to launch an ad from there. Normally that's what you do from Audience Insights. So don't launch an ad from there, but listen what your audience is and what they really follow, basically. So yeah, do you have any questions around that? Crystal clear? Good stuff. So yeah, spend some time. Anyone who did this before? Because I have, yeah, cool. We have some top marketers here. Then it's really common sense and basically like common sense again, leverage second level connections. So one mistake that most people do when they launch a product or a startup is that they are just sharing it on Facebook or their Twitter to their existing connection. And even if you will like, I mean, even if it generates user, that's great for you. I mean, you probably have some friends that are relevant to your target group. But will it be honest feedback when they try the product? Will it be really like the MVA that you are looking for? Are they really like likely to be like the when you will scale, like the audience when you will scale? I don't think so. So instead, like, leverage second level connections. And for that, I mean, it's really easy. I mean, of course, you can talk to your friends, but it will take you a lot of time. So instead, you can basically ask Facebook. Again, like, it's really basic, but I have seen really like little marketers leveraging these search options. So you can like now again on the, if we continue on acne, it's a fake example. By the way, I'm not gonna talk about any of my clients tonight, so I'm just, it's just a fake example and dummies. So people who like acne studios, they are friends of my friends. So you can ask that to Facebook, and that will return you a list of results of people that you might, then you can say, okay, but Daniel Edgert is a blogger. He's a blogger at Expressen. Okay, but he's one connection away from me. Maybe I should ask my friend to introduce me to this blogger, and if I have something relevant for him, maybe he will write about it. Much easier than going straight to him and say, hey, I'm Erwan, I'm from nowhere, let's connect and you will talk about my product. So how many of you do that for your startup? One. On LinkedIn, same here. I mean, I use a lot LinkedIn. I mean, you can use it for many like different situations. Again, like here, it's really easy. I have a free account actually, so anyone can do it. You just go into, you do a search, like here, Acne Studios, and just connect. So remove first connection and just go second and third connection. Then you will have a list. In that case, it's not really relevant because Acne Studio, I'm not probably gonna connect with people that have worked at Acne Studio. I'm launching a competition. But basically, if you are launching, let's say, a social media marketing tool or a video platform, you can basically like try to find someone or like a profession type or like these kind of things, and see who of your friends can introduce you to the relevant contacts. And then you can use it for business development, or you can use it for influencers, or you can use it for beta testers, but use it the right way, and I mean, you will basically play with it and you will find your way to use it. Also, like something that not so many people do on LinkedIn is to listen to what people ask. So you can do it anywhere, but instead of going to people, you could go to content, and maybe you could listen like, okay, videographer, or like SaaS tool, or like I need help with invoicing, these kind of things. If your product is about invoicing, go there, see like in Swedish or Factura or like these kind of things. Put it there, and you will have probably like a list of potential clients already there because they are asking for help. So check it out. I mean, if you listen, like you can basically like prepare, like you can also like automate it in a nice way and get like alerts every now and then. So I do it for example, sometimes for me, like I'm a SEO social media consultant, so I go and check it out a few times a week to see like who is in need of help in Stockholm. And that often generates to really good business. Then you can do the same thing on Instagram. It's a little bit harder because you can't really do it through the platform itself. So I will recommend to use Iconosquare. You can actually, I mean, here it's no excuse again, like it's a free trial for 14 days. So you can really do it even if you don't have a marketing budget. And so basically, like here, what you can do is, that is quite interesting for this purpose of business development, is like you can ask Iconosquare. So here it's not the actual interface, it's their start page. But you can ask basically, find people that work in that live in Stockholm and that answer the criteria that you're after. So it could be a videographer again, and then you can even like slice and dice based on number of followers, number of posts, so if they are active or not, engagement rate, and then you can export basically an Excel file where you will have all their contact details and when you can build engagement with them. So that would be much easier for you to start a conversation than if it's for influencer marketing, you do that. It's much easier to have their email than to actually go through the direct message, because they are probably like they get direct message all the time. So trying to find a channel that will stand out. If it's their direct email that is connected to their Instagram, you have more chance to be answered or like to be seen. Anyone that is using Iconosquare? It's a great tool. I mean, check it out. Focus on niche content. So yeah, my background is SEO, but I will actually, as an early stage startup, I would say like, of course you should focus on SEO, but pay little attention to your website because you should be native on the platform that people already spend their time. And I mean, sending them to your website is quite a big ask from the beginning. So if you are, try to be where they are. So if it's LinkedIn, you should be on LinkedIn all the time. If it's Instagram, you should spend most of your time on Instagram and, you know, just have a simple landing page on your website when they can register or like become a user or like buy your products. But yeah, spend time where they are. And for SEO, don't try to reach like, let's say I'm a competitor of Acne. I'm not gonna try to rank for jeans the first year. It's totally stupid. I'm never gonna have the authority on the market to rank number 1 or number 1 to 10 when it matters for jeans. Try to find your niche, and to find the niche. So basically, like a lot of SEO, they use Google Keyword Planner, which is the main tool for the SEO industry. So it's the backend for Google AdWords, where you can see how many searches queries are generating. And I would say like skip that because it's not updated enough for like small terms for you to have a good idea. So what you should focus on in the beginning is really looking for related search terms. You know, that's what you see at the end of Google results. You know, like the small links like people also search for. And those want to be there, they need at least 1,000 searches per month to get there. But most of them, if you put them in Google AdWords, so in Keyword Planner, it will return like 30 searches or like, you know, 10 searches or no searches at all. So a lot of SEO will not pay attention to those queries. So focus on those, and a great tool for automating it. So to get all the search related search, good luck if you go it through Google, because you will need to write basically the keyword plus A, B, and like, you know, go to the bottom of the page and try to copy paste everything. So instead of doing that, you can use Ubersuggest. There is a free tool as well. And basically what they did is they scrub Google, and you can basically like, now I'm in a fake example where I'm launching a social media marketing tool. And basically like here, like that will basically export, like, so you see like keyword font 325. So you can export it to Excel and basically like clean it up based on what you are actually proposing. So yeah, I mean, for example, that would be like the base for creating content or like optimizing your website based on what people also search for. So have a look at this, and you can, the great thing is like pay attention to localization. So if you are launching in Sweden, you of course should have your website in Swedish, and like try to search for Swedish. It works also for Amazon, YouTube, and other search platforms. So really like spend some time there. I do it a lot basically. So it allows me to, for example, even with my personal website, I rank for search terms in a few months where I would say like it's really competitive, but actually people forget these keywords. So check it out. Yeah, then another thing, like for creating niche content, you can go to the website called answerthepublic.com. And basically what they do, it's a similar tool. So they scrap the whole internet to find like all the questions related to a topic. And you can export it also to Excel or whatever you want. And that's how they visualize it. It's not so, looks a little bit confusing like this. But basically the best way to use it is to export it to Excel or to a Google spreadsheet. And basically like, of course not everything is relevant, but that will create really good really good content for a potential FAQ on your website. So you can answer questions that people have already. Or you can use it for blog. So basically like for blogging or social media content. So what are the problems of your audience? They are there. You can also check Quora.com and many other sites or forums. But there will give you a really good idea to get the base of your content. What are the answers you should basically, what are the questions you should answer in your industry? And believe me, like not so many marketers spend time on content marketing answering all the questions in an industry. So if you start from there, you will rank for the answer of the questions, and that will be a good start. So it's not a huge volume, but it's really relevant to a problem they have. Any questions regarding niche content? No? Yeah? 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 That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, so he asked if this is good for voice SEO. So basically, yeah, I mean, really good question, because basically the way Google is developing and the internet in general is becoming more like a conversation than query-based. So, and with the development of Alexa and like all the tools basically made for voice and Siri and so on, I mean, if you answer this, it's going to be a really good preparation for 2020, when like voice is probably going to be the dominant way of searching online. So, you know, like Google is super scared of Amazon because they have an edge on basically on voice search, and maybe within 4 years we will see the end of Google, because they might not be able to catch up with voice search. And it's so convenient that, I mean, when the devices are there, we will probably see a lot of more people actually searching by voice. And already today, like 20% of queries on Google are made from voice. So it's already huge. So really good question. So if you want to prepare for voice SEO, go through answerthepublic.com and start answering questions as a routine of your content marketing approach. Okay, so next part, listen and engage with communities of passionates. So again, really basics, but really not so many people take the time to actually do it how they should. This is an example from a small retail shop that opened in Stockholm a few weeks ago. I don't know, have you seen them? No one into sneakers? I'm a big fan of sneakers, so I follow these groups: Yeezy Sweden, Sneaker Sweden, Stockholm and Sweden Streetwear. And basically this is Facebook group that, you know, really active, where people like sell their shoes, comment about new drops and launch of shoes, etc. So this company saw an opportunity by showing there was a lot of black market going on in Stockholm for shoes resale. So for sneakers resale that are really hard to find in Stockholm or even in the world sometimes. So on this group, it was a lot of fakes being sold, and, you know, like a lot of people arguing that they were being cheated, and, you know, like a lot of stuff going on. So what they did is basically, like, from 1 year before, they started to be really active within the community and becoming the top members of these 3 communities, and becoming like giving tips and tricks how to find is it a real Adidas shoes or is it a fake, you know, Yeezy. That's the one they are looking after, the Kanye West shoes. So, and basically that they started to build their trust through this engagement with the community, and so much that they saw a really big business opportunity. They were like, yeah, we should start a shop in the middle of Stockholm where people can actually sell and buy products that are like, you know, like sneakers that you can't get around other than eBay, or, you know, like where it might be a lot of fakes and so on. So they launched through basically like the basically I don't even know the founder, so I don't know. But basically like they did a pre-launch, so they started like really early, I think before the summer, saying, guys, we have something coming up. We will launch a store in Stockholm, and, you know, they teased like almost on a weekly basis what's gonna drop there, and, you know, like they had like huge PR across even the US, because this is such a community of passionates that they even have the founder of Off-White, which is a huge brand. If you look into like progressive fashion, Off-White is actually right now doing a huge collaboration with Nike, and the founder was there to actually sign some of their shoes so he dropped by surprise because he heard it through the community. So if you engage with passionates, amazing things can happen. I mean, it just takes time. So, and what you have as a startup, as an early entrepreneur, is really like your edge is time. That's what you have, like, that's the currency you have. It's like you have more time than any others. Like, I mean, I've seen it as even at the difference at Izettle between being 30 and 400 is time. We had much more time when we were 30 than when we were 400. You need to act much more quicker when you are 400 people and things are going slow because politics start to happen. So that's your advantage against the competition. Make good use of your time. And like, instead of spending money at something you don't know that will generate results, try to build relationship. It always work. Okay, so influencer marketing is a big thing in the industry right now, right? So everybody wants to work with influencers, and you know, they like getting on Blondin's Bella's blog and Kenza, and you know, everybody wants to be there. But you know, and most of them they do it through paying, right? So there is a lot of influencer agency that popped up last year in Stockholm, and you know, the minimum fee is always like 50,000 SEK. And there is like really little tracking about the results, and you know, like no guarantee of anything. So I want to present a small example for, actually those are my friends at Björnhult. So they are a small they are two people. They are like basically like one photographer and one videographer. And they had a small agency or like a small studio basically in Stockholm. And basically they have no marketing budget at all. I mean, they spend 100% of their time creating, and they have no time to spend on marketing as well. So what they did instead is like they felt like they needed like new assets for their website, and they wanted to meet interesting people in the industry. So they actually found an opening in the industry of influencers for photography, that all the big photographers online on Instagram, you never see their face. So this guy, you probably know him, like he's one of the most followed accounts in Sweden. Christopher Collin with Laren. He's taking amazing pictures on Instagram, and you know, like he has 1.3 million followers. And you know, he's not into this influencer marketing at all. I think he's ambassador for one brand, but that makes sense for his audience. It's a camera brand. But if you will approach him with 50,000 kroner, he will laugh at you and say, "Hey, I'm not gonna sold my audience for selling a toothbrush or whatever." You know, like he cares about what he's passionate about. And so they approached him and say, "Yeah, we want people to see your face and your how you basically walk behind the camera and who you are as a person, and we want to make a story of it." And they approached like, I think like a dozen, like maybe 10 people, like that are like similar background from Sweden and the world, and their answer rate was like 90% plus. So I invite you to really like go and check it out, because they don't do any marketing, and they really do it because they believe in what they are doing, and they do it by passion. But they managed to do a collaboration with him like for free, basically because it's based on common win-win. It's based on a story and the love for photography. So if you can, there's always something you can connect. And I think like we have someone from Selfie today, and I mean they are also like really good at influencer marketing, and we discussed. Maybe I should not talk too much about it, but I mean they are really good at this as well, to build like solve a problem for the audience, or like for the influencers and for the audience as well. So basically like what you do, like sometimes Kenza is gonna do a closet, cleaning your closet or whatever, like selling basically out the clothes that she bought during the last year. So for her it's really convenient. She's traveling a lot, and she doesn't have time to put everything on Tradera, and it's massive amounts of clothes. And it gives really good content, really genuine for our audience, because then she can actually give her audience the opportunity to buy the clothes of the blogger they are following every day. And so by doing that, you basically connect the three parties. So Selfie is winning, Kenza is winning, and basically the audience of Kenza is winning as well. So if you look for the triple win when you do influencer marketing, you won't have to pay anything. So like just I don't know if anyone is actually working for influencer marketing platform, but I really don't believe in that. So you will have a really hard time soon to exist. I mean, a lot of people will pay for it, but at the end of the day, it's not how it works. Any questions about that? Because that's a big topic in the industry. No? Okay. Either I'm really boring or you're super clear. Yeah? Sorry? No, I don't think it's gonna disappear. I think it's gonna always be like people that are ready to pay for, you know, like people buying a programmatic, for example, or things like that. Will always happen. People are quite lazy. I mean, that's why you buy programmatic. No, but I mean, if you didn't try that before actually going for paying an influencer marketing agency, then there is a problem in the company itself. There is an effort problem, and that's why I see like when Kenza is promoting something that she doesn't believe in, it doesn't make her look good for her audience, and she doesn't feel good about it, and the brand is probably not winning anyway. So I mean, if there is a lack of story between the three parties, at the end of the day, it won't last. But I'm not seeing influencer marketing disappearing ever. I mean, it always existed. I mean, influencer marketing is a huge buzzword in the industry, but it's product placement. It's always been around. So it's gonna always be around, but the form people will actually use it will change. And we see, I mean, I don't know if you guys follow Breakit, and they did this huge story about Instagram going down, basically like because the algorithm is now looking like Facebook. So Instagram wants you to pay to reach your followers. So the organic reach of Instagram is dropping crazy lot these days. And of course, influencers are stressed because they build their business around that. And so, I mean, there is many plays in the industry where Instagram is gonna want to take credit for this money because there is a lot of money spent on influencers, and they have the platform for it. So, I mean, I'm seeing that more like within years, like Instagram is gonna launch, or like Facebook ads, because it's the same platform, is gonna launch something where you can actually use some of the influencers, like more like you can do for the audience network on Facebook. So, but I would really like to see, I think like company called Buzzador, for example, they do it quite well for influencer marketing. So Buzzador, like they partner with brands that wants to test their products. So for example, yesterday I signed up for my son to try Duplo. And basically like you receive the Duplo, and if you like it, you can do a picture. And if you do a picture, you might get some products for free. But you know, like I might not, I'm just interested to test the product. And I mean, I will take a picture if my son loves it or if I love it. But there it's more like it's a better connection than, you know, just like, okay, I give you 50,000 and you need to say that, exactly that. Was it answering your question, or? Yeah, cool. Yeah. So like, yeah, I mean, just quick, like that's what they managed to do. Like, I mean, you can find a way. This is not a template. This is really like the template behind is like like find a connection with your audience and the influencer that will make it look genuine, and that I will actually make the influencer look at your email first and, you know, like listen to you, and then meet you, and then like, okay, let's do a collaboration. And that's what like most influencers, I mean, I've been working with influencers, that's what they are looking for as well, because they don't want to look like sandwich you know, poster like you see in Drottninggatan. So this is not for me, this is from actually Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't know if any one of you follow him. He's a serial entrepreneur in the US, and he has a concept that I really appreciate. Is basically document, don't create. So a lot of people spend time when they are early stage to come up with a story, like who we are. Like they do a lot of workshops and, you know, like offsites and what's our vision, what's who we are, like why do we do what we do. But be yourself, like just document it. And then people are more interested these days about the journey than the final product that you are providing. They won't see like the people behind the company. So that's the concept. And I think that, again, I don't know these guys. I've started to follow them. I think they are into something that they basically duplicated Gary Vaynerchuk idea. So basically, Gary Vaynerchuk, what he's doing, he has a videographer following him every day. and he's doing a vlog. So every day at the same time, he's posting like a day in the life of Gary Vaynerchuk. And what they decided to do, so Moonrazan is a small agency in Stockholm. I think they do WordPress websites and development and graphic design, and actually not sure what they are doing. But what they did is like they took the concept to they duplicate it to the Swedish market because no one is doing it. And I mean, now like I think like the number of views is not that good, and actually it's normal. But I think that they are into something because I mean I would say like they don't need to do it like super nicely like on YouTube and having a videographer. It's spending way too much time and money in the beginning. But you can do it with your smartphone and just like document your day. Like what is it that you're doing every day? And I know it's hard. I want to do it myself, but then I feel like, oh no, I can't post this, like it's really hard. But you can just like give a glimpse of your days, and that will actually create value of what you are doing. Because what you can't duplicate is really like, in a period of automation, what you can't duplicate is really like the people behind the companies. And people will be much more interested to connect with people than with a brand that is just a black box, right? So when I guess you follow brands that are quite human, and you are more likely to buy from them because you feel like, okay, I'm supporting this entrepreneur or this entrepreneur, and they are doing something right, and I want to be part of the journey. So yeah, I mean, you don't need to do it on YouTube. You can do it on Instagram stories. You can do it, find your way, or like it can be like written form, it can be podcast, it can be anything, but try to give a behind the scenes basically of your journey as an entrepreneur when you start, because then you will just do your business. So you don't need to think like, okay, I need to book 2 hours for writing a blog today. You can just basically do your thing, but then in the between just make sure to document it along the way. So it will save you a shitload of time, and I think that will be much more genuine for your audience to see that than to see a blog post that is 7 tips about digital marketing, because that's been written about by everybody. Yeah? Sorry? This one, or like in general, like document, don't create? It depends. I mean, I think there's I would say like in the beginning, like if you can build your personal brand out of your personal profile, that's better like for the algorithm basically, because if you do it from a Facebook page or like from a LinkedIn page, like they will want you to advertise, so you will reach much less people than you actually reach through your profile. So that can be a good start, especially like when you are building an audience. It's just like you can just give a glimpse, but then again, some of your friends might just like feel like it's boring. So that's why for me, I created like another Instagram account where I just share marketing stuff, because I don't want to tire my friends too much. So like it's also like coming back to the right audience. So I mean, your friends are probably not the right MVA. So then like trying to build your MVA from the start and then create content, and then it's private or not, it doesn't matter, but it matters from an algorithm perspective. Cool. So yeah, so hashtags and DM. So a lot of people use hashtags just to get exposure, or like to be fun, or like to like to just like, and it's kind of lame, to be honest. Like just hashtags as itself, it doesn't really work. I mean, we spend like days going through the I mean, do you really spend time into hashtags on Instagram? Do you do that? No? Yeah? Yeah, but because you're a marketer. But normal people. No, but I mean, like, people don't really, like, spend a day, they spend day on the feed, that's where they spend time. But what you can do as a marketer, and it's great to spend time in the hashtags, is actually, there is many people, I mean, I use hashtags sometimes, and it's no blame about it. But it doesn't really give you an extra boost. I mean, it used to be huge on Instagram, like, until this summer, and now, like, the bots are dead, and it's actually better like this, because there was a lot of fake accounts going around. But you can use the hashtags to basically DM people. So, and I think hashtags and locations. So basically, like, if you look at this, like that's basically like that's the discovery interface of Instagram. So spend some time there and like basically like, you know, just look around like again like as niche as possible. So if you are in a if you are I mean if your audience, you want your audience to be only in Hammarby, you should like really like spend time into Hammarby location, and then you will have, when you go like you enter like places Hammarby, then you will have the first 6 or 9 posts. They will be like the most popular posts, so they won't be in chronological order. And it's quite probably that there will be some influencers there, or like people with a quite decent reach. So that's more like a way to find people with a nice audience that you can target that are relevant to your MVA, to your like basically like you can. And then what I will do is like basically like use DMs, so direct message, to really like, instead of emails, just I mean take a few accounts that have maybe 1,000 people following, or like 1,000 followers, 2,000 followers. They are not influencers, they are not living from that, but it's a really nice audience to reach out to. So if you can build a collaboration or an engagement through those accounts, saying, hey guys, I love what you do, I just found you through the hashtag, or like, you know, like, oh my god, what a creep. But like, no, don't say that you found them through hashtags. Say like, yeah, I've been following you for a while. If you did, if you didn't, don't say that. But you know, basically, like, really, like, send them a DM nicely, and they might not see it, so don't be mad if they don't follow. Like, it will happen. It will go in a request box. But if they follow you, they will see it straight and have a notification. So try that, because there is a lot of business development opportunities there, and it's really like it's working. Like I mean, I do it for my hairdresser. So like they started like in Nitoriet. They started a really small salon, and you know, like I told them like, yeah, go to Nitoriet, and you know, they are a barber shop actually. So and go to the relevant hashtags for your industry within Stockholm and in Swedish. And they do it, and they contact people like, yeah, guys, next time you want to go to the hairdresser, we are here. Not sure if you knew about us. We're happy to give you a tour of the salon, and you know, like these kind of things. And it's working very well. So it's just like common sense business development again. You had a question. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it will come in a kind of sandbox if people don't follow you. But I mean, it's quite the request box on Instagram is quite you see it quite well. So if you don't go for like people with millions of followers, go with people like micro influencers, like maybe between 1,000 and 20,000 max. Those guys that don't make money from their audience yet, and they will be more likely like. And then you build a story back to the previous slides. Try to find a connection with them, and what is it that you can help them with, and you know how you can be relevant for them, basically. Any questions about DM? No? Yeah, and content placement. So that's more like another word to say PR. But I mean, as an early stage startup, you won't have a PR agency. You won't have a PR person working full time with you. So you need to be really efficient to know, like, you can go back to the Facebook audience insights and see, okay, what are the top publications that you should be on, and then you should, of course, again find a story that you can deliver. But you can also use BuzzSumo. Yeah, you use it. So who knows about BuzzSumo here? Not so many content creators. No, but like, so basically BuzzSumo, what they do is for query GDPR, but like you can do it for anything. So it can be a really good thing to prepare your PR work. For example, myself, I'm not a PR, but I kind of can find content placement through these tools that will actually generate content shares and you know, like traffic to your website. So what it does is like it basically finds the articles around a topic that have been the most shared on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and so on and so forth. And then you can slice and dice based on date, language, country, word count, type of content, if you are into infographics, if you are into video, if you are into like different type of formats, you can basically slice and dice it and see who has been the most popular content during the last 6 months or the last week. So you can take that as an inspiration to create content, or you can find it as, okay, I want to talk about GDPR. Okay, maybe I should go to contact@adg.se because they have a good reach and like the audience seems to really like this topic. So I should find an angle, maybe a follow-up of this article, maybe maybe another version, like a counter opinion of this, maybe a survey or like a roundup of experts around GDPR, this type of things. So like really like try to package your content. Journalists, they are they want something like a done product, and they want content. I mean, they are struggling with money, so they need more content to get visitors and you know. So if you can help them, they will help you. You can also find influencers from that platform. Like it's more like for Twitter and Facebook, but I mean, and Pinterest. But we really use it for like more like to build your content bank, or like to your content calendar to be relevant towards what is actually what the audience is answering at the moment. Sorry, not yet, not at the moment. But actually, yes, they just launched Facebook live videos library last week. So. And it's actually, I think I received an email from them saying that it's gonna be free for 1 month or something. So you're gonna be able to see what were the most popular live video from the last 7 days or last 6 months. Yeah, that can be a good thing for like since live video is so appreciated from Facebook. They try to push this product. So of course, like if you want to bet on live, that's a nice place to go. Cool. Yeah, and then like what I'm doing tonight. So I mean, go offline, go and meet people. It's so underrated. When everything is going digital, go offline. Like go the other way. Everybody is trying to reach people online and through banners and through interruptive messaging, and just go the other way. Just go like offline the old way. Meet people, shake hands, like it's gonna be much easier to build relationship like this. So, and especially you don't need to scale when you are an early stage startup. What you need is maybe your 10 first users, your 100 first users, your 1,000 first users. That's all. So like focus on that. Don't try to be like, of course there is an ego part of it. You want to be like the biggest company and like you want to show off and doing cool things. But nothing beats relationship. So like if you can manage to, like I would be happy if like a few of you guys, like follow me on LinkedIn after tonight. Like like I win. I mean that's the kind of things I'm looking for. Like like I mean, you need to build like a relationship with your audience and test things, and like you will get honest feedback. It's much easier to lie online and say, oh, I love your product, it's amazing, than saying face to face. So like basically like there's so many meetups in Stockholm, it's insane. So many like Eventbrite events, so many Facebook events. Your target audience is probably at one of them. So of course it takes time. It's nice and convenient to go home after work and so on, but like if you do it once a month, it doesn't cost much, and like just do it. Any question? Yeah. 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 Like about what? Yeah. Yeah. So it's funny because one of our coworker at Iceter was actually working very early stage of Web Summit. So I mean, if you don't, do you know about Web Summit, by the way? It became within 5 years the biggest web event in the world, basically. So it's a guy from Ireland. Like he's like in his 20s or 30s, I think. Uh, Basically, what he did is like he had the goal of building the biggest meetup for tech in the world. And I mean, there is quite big tech events already, like Le Web for French people. That's a big one from Loic Lemer. Like you have like Disrupt from TechCrunch. That was just last week. You have huge ones. Yeah, but you need to pay. No, yeah, exactly, and that's a little bit sad actually because I think so many founders and entrepreneurs will benefit from going there, but then at the end, like now it became so big that it's a lot of reunion of really big startups or like successful companies. This year, I haven't checked the. I don't think they provided the lineup yet. There is like I think they sent a few speakers for this year, but I don't know they have the full lineup. Yeah, I mean it changes every year. Like sometimes they have Ronaldinho and Figo, which are football players. So they take like really different angle, which I like. I mean they last year Figo was there. He was presenting a new app he was launching, which was a football app. He's retired now, and like that was more like how to deal with retirement as a football player going into tech. That was interesting. Uh, but I would say like, and of course Gary Vaynerchuk was there last year. It was a huge talk and it was really interesting. But then it's the same thing that you can see online basically since he's putting it online. So I would definitely recommend to go to see like smaller speaker that maybe you won't have the opportunity to meet or see online again. And then you can basically learn a lot from that because that will be their first or second talk. Uh, while the big speakers basically they expose the thesis that they've been exposing in a book or like they have something to sell or they are there for a reason. So I will I'm a big fan of going for the underdogs basically. But yeah, again I don't know the program for this year, so yeah. Again, no. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Coach. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So you're gonna draw at Web Summit, yeah? Yeah, I mean that's great way to be noticed. I mean it stands out. And yeah. Don't know neither. I haven't been drawing on in Lisbon yet. I should maybe do that sometimes. Yeah, exactly. True. No, but that's a really interesting story because I think it stands out, and I mean, it when I think like I mean, I love I love like for example graphic design, but like when you see like especially in our generation when everything is made on Photoshop and you know like everybody has a portfolio and you know it tends to look the same and you know like there's really hard to stand out for those people. So I think like a good tip for a graphic designer would just actually yeah maybe let's do it in the street and you know like build your small audience from there like you know like your anything that is manual like you know like has a huge value when everything's gonna be automated because it's not fun to deal with an algorithm all day long. People want to build relationship with human and they want to see like creative stuff that is yeah that I mean I think like I really believe like sometimes it's really brands that succeed like do things that don't make sense and you know like I mean like I won't say like drawing in the street don't make sense but I mean you know like it's not something that is rational. Yeah exactly and people are irrational so I mean you need to be a little bit irrational with your brand so don't try to be the best or the you know these things because Seth Godin has a really good article about that as well like best is boring you know so if you're the best at something, it just become boring because you know it's just too good and you know there is no emotion. So yeah, 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 yeah. I said I'm not gonna sell anything. But I mean that's something I do actually like on a weekly basis. So I do these marketing stories on LinkedIn. So then like and that's something that doesn't make sense actually. Like there's a lot of people. So every week I'm an independent consultant, but I promote other marketers. And actually like so a lot of people ask me like but why are you doing that like aren't you on your own now and shouldn't you be the best and you know and no I just want to learn from others that doing it really well and inspire an audience and we don't compete we just like doing the same we have the same passion and that's why I'm here as well like I'm just I mean I hope if you have one takeaway from this and you learn something tonight then I'm super happy and that's just genuine that's just I'm not waiting for more and you know so yeah, I mean, the people I'm inspired. So I do marketing stories once a week on LinkedIn, and I basically like curate people that I believe are interesting within Sweden, US, or like wherever I find them on LinkedIn that are interesting. So like you know, like I try to find an angle. Like sometimes you know, they stand out because they are not a marketer or like because they do extremely well with their company or you know this type of things. But yeah, I have others. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Rand Fishkin from Moz. That's how I learn a lot about digital marketing. Rand Fishkin. So he started a company called Moz.com back in really early internet, so 2000, and that's basically like I think if he's watching tonight, thank you. But I don't think he's gonna watch. I will send it to him though. That's a good DM approach. But no, but basically what he did really early on, he documented his journey as an entrepreneur doing SEO. So like really boring topic like SEO. But what he did like every Friday, same time, he dropped a video called Whiteboard Friday. And that basically he's in front of a whiteboard taking a video every Friday explaining a concept about marketing and especially niching down in SEO. And I think, I mean, I learned so much from him that I'm so grateful that, I mean, this was for free. And I think a lot of people that are in digital marketing industry, they've learned so much from him. He became basically the biggest influencers in the field. And yeah, it doesn't make sense to spend your Friday afternoon when you have a company, drive a company, to be in front of a whiteboard. But on the long term, it managed to, it put this company in a really good position because he's the thought leader in the field, and like people just listen what Mose is saying, and they are the trusted voice. So, I mean, two things that I think it's the last slide. Yeah, but before that, I think two things I really believe in. Before we need a little bit extra time. So proximity, it's something that would be really hard for robots to deal with. So that's how you can stand out. So again, a lot of things here is about proximity. So if you can be close to people, Amazon is not gonna be able to reach you at your doorstep with a human. They will do it maybe with a drone or with something. But if you manage to if you build on proximity, you will have a really good base. And then consistency. So a lot of people if you try this, I would love if you try one of these during the next following months. I would love to receive a link and to see what you've done. But the problem is, I bet most of you need that, but you won't have the. I'm not trying to to say anything, but it's really hard to be consistent. Really hard. It takes time. It takes planning, and most people fail at content marketing because they are not consistent. They do they spend 15 hours doing a great, amazing blog post one time, and then they don't follow up, and then the next blog post is really shitty, and it comes 3 months after, and they're content marketing doesn't work for us. But it's really like that a lot in the industry. So if you can be consistent, it's the same thing than anything in life. If you're consistent with your wife, she will be happy. If you're consistent with your friends, they will still be around. But if you don't answer their call for 15 days and then you ask for help the next day, I'm not sure they will help you. So yeah. That's the last one after I leave you. Thanks for staying. You need to sleep soon. So transform a few into many. So yeah, so that's the end of the cycle. Basically, if you don't have money, if you don't have advertising power, but you manage to get 100 people into your funnel, and they are happy customers, and they are engaging with your product, and they trust your brand, then it's time to maybe build a referral program, because that will be basically that will basically transform, like I said, a few into many. That's been a lot of successful companies are built through referral programs. So you have, of course, the famous examples of Dropbox, Airbnb, Uber. All these guys, what they did is focused on their MVA, get their first few users, and then launch their Spotify as well for Sweden. If some of you were really early users of Spotify, you probably remember that it was an invite only, right? So that was a referral program actually. So that the idea behind there is it will build a triple win connection between the brand, the user, and potential users. So here is a brand that going back to inspiration to ya, a brand that I really like is Away Travel. It's a suitcase company. I'm not looking into buying suitcase, but I love their website. So awaytravel.com. And I think they have I don't know, I took a screenshot because I think it's clear enough what they are providing for their referral program. And yeah, there's no strings attached. So I'm not, I never bought actually a suitcase from them yet. But already now, if I refer to my friends and they buy a suitcase, that will give me, the first $20 to buy my suitcase. So normally most referral programs, they are stuck to users. And I think what they are smart about it is they open it to anyone. So anyone that is dreaming about this suitcase can already have an early start and get their suitcase with $20 discount. And the brand is not impacted. I know it's a lot of brand running discount, flash sales, and these kind of things. It's killing your brand. Stop that. Is Apple doing flash sales? if you are a brand that is trusted, you don't need to discount your price. That's just showing that your product or like service is not worth it, or like you have a problem doing sales, or you need to close a budget. So it's just really sending bad signals. But instead, if you let users being the sales team for you, it doesn't impact your brand. It's actually like people will be more likely to listen to their friends than you as a brand saying you should buy your suitcase, best suitcase in the world. But like if you tell me, oh, I bought this suitcase, yeah, cool, I will listen. Anyone who did like a test with a referral program before? Yeah. Sorry? Yeah, Uber. I mean, that's the famous example. But you don't need to be Uber to do it. But like don't do it when you have 0 users. That's also stupid. But like just wait to have a critical size, and critical size for different business I mean for me, like I have less than 10 customers. It's already a critical size for me, because I can't handle more than 10 customers. I could already launch a referral program and through my clients, hey, can you refer me to a company that would need my service in the future? Please, can you intro me? Then the limit, I mean the MVA is 10 people. But yeah, start when you feel that your viable audience is big enough, or is kind of done. Then you can activate your referral program, and then that will basically like become a sales team on autopilot. So yeah, that was it. Like, sorry for, I think it was 7 minutes too much, but thanks for your time, and like, please, if you have questions, like, do it. Like, because now, like, I think it was a couple of good questions, but I'm sure like you might regret tomorrow if like, I mean, you have the opportunity to ask me now. I'm not gonna be so much available per email, so cool. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. And then there is also like, I think, a live stream on YouTube, so like on Goto 10.se YouTube channel. But yeah, I mean, the PowerPoint doesn't say much without the voice, so I think maybe the best is to watch again the talk. I mean, it's quite long, but yeah. So that's it. I mean, yeah, reach me. That's if you have any questions, I know like some people are shy, or like maybe you don't come up with a question now. Feel free to drop me a DM through the hashtag, or like find me through the hashtag, and like that's my website, that's my email address, so you know where to find me. And thanks for tonight.